By 1933, he'd been made foreign policy advisor to Hitler, and in the same year, the representative of the Nazi Party on foreign policy. In 1934, he was appointed delegate for disarmament questions, and in 1935, Minister Plenipotentiary at Large, a capacity in which he negotiated the Anglo-German Naval Agreement in 1935 and the Anti-Comintern Pact in 1936. On August 11, 1936, he was appointed ambassador to England. On February 4th, 1938, he succeeded von Neurath as Reich Minister for Foreign Affairs as part of the general reshuffle which accompanied the dismissal of von Fritsch and von Blumberg. Crimes against peace. Ribbentrop was not present at the Hosbach Conference, held on November 5th, 1937, but on January 2nd, 1938, while still ambassador to England, he sent a memorandum to Hitler indicating his opinion that a change in the status quo in the East, in the German sense, could only be carried out by force, and suggesting methods to prevent England and France from intervening in a European war fought to bring about a change. When Ribbentrop became foreign minister, Hitler told him that Germany still had 4 problems to solve: Austria, Sudetenland, Memel, and Danzig, and mentioned the possibility of some sort of a showdown or military settlement for their solution. On February 12, 1938, Ribbentrop attended the conference between Hitler and Schuschnigg, at which Hitler, by threats of invasion, forced Schuschnigg to grant a series of concessions designed to strengthen the Nazis in Austria, including the appointment of Seyss-Inquart as Minister of Security and Interior with control over the police. Ribbentrop was in London when the occupation of Austria was actually carried out, and on the basis of information supplied him by Goering, informed the British government that Germany had not presented Austria with an ultimatum, but had intervened in Austria only to prevent civil war. On March 13, 1938, Ribbentrop signed the law incorporating Austria into the German Reich. Ribbentrop participated in the aggressive plans against Czechoslovakia. Beginning in March 1938, he was in close touch with the Sudeten German Party and gave them instructions which had the effect of keeping the Sudeten German question a live issue, which might serve as an excuse for the attack which Germany was planning against Czechoslovakia. In August 1938, he participated in a conference for the purpose of obtaining Hungarian support in the event of a war with Czechoslovakia. After the Munich Pact, he continued to bring diplomatic pressure with the object of occupying the remainder of Czechoslovakia. He was instrumental in inducing the Slovaks to proclaim their independence. He was present at the conference of March 14-15, 1939, at which Hitler, by threats of invasion, compelled President Aha to consent to the German occupation of Czechoslovakia. After the German troops had marched in, Ribbentrop signed the law establishing a protectorate over Bohemian Moravia. Ribbentrop played a particularly significant role in the diplomatic activity which led up to the attack on Poland. He participated in a conference held on August 12, 1939, for the purpose of obtaining Italian support if the attack should lead to a general European war. Ribbentrop discussed the German demands with respect to Danzig and the Polish corridor with the British ambassador in the period from August 25th to August 30th, 1939, when he knew that the German plans to attack Poland had merely been temporarily postponed in an attempt to induce the British to abandon their guarantee to the Poles. The way in which he carried out these discussions makes it clear that he did not enter into them in good faith in an attempt to reach a settlement of the difficulties between Germany and Poland. Ribbentrop was advised in advance of the attack on Norway and Denmark and of the attack on the Low Countries, and prepared the official Foreign Office memoranda attempting to justify these aggressive actions. Ribbentrop attended the conference on January 20th, 1941, at which Hitler and Mussolini discussed the proposed attack on Greece, and the conference in January 1941, at which Hitler obtained from Antonescu permission for German troops to go through Romania for this attack. On March 25th, 1941, when Yugoslavia adhered to the Axis Tripartite Pact, Ribbentrop had assured Yugoslavia that Germany would respect its sovereignty and territorial integrity. On March 27, 1941, he attended the meeting held after the coup d'etat in Yugoslavia, at which plans were made to carry out Hitler's announced intention to destroy Yugoslavia. Ribbentrop attended a conference in May 1941 with Hitler and Antonescu relating to Romanian participation in the attack on the USSR. He also consulted with Rosenberg in the preliminary planning for the political exploitation of Soviet territories, and in July 1941, after the outbreak of war, urged Japan to attack the Soviet Union. War crimes and crimes against humanity. Ribbentrop participated in a meeting of June 6, 1944, at which it was agreed to start a program under which Allied aviators carrying out machine gun attacks on the civilian population should be lynched. In December 1944, Ribbentrop was informed of the plans to murder one of the French generals held as a prisoner of war, and directed his subordinates to see that the details were worked out in such a way as to prevent its detection by the protecting powers. Ribbentrop is also responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity because of his activities with respect to occupied countries and Axis satellites. The top German official in both Denmark and Vichy France was a Foreign Office representative, and Ribbentrop is therefore responsible for the general economic and political policies put into effect in the occupation of those countries. He urged the Italians to adopt a ruthless occupation policy in Yugoslavia and Greece. He played an important part in Hitler's final solution of the Jewish question. In September 1942, he ordered the German diplomatic representatives accredited to various Axis satellites to hasten the deportation of Jews to the East. In June 1942, the German ambassador to Vichy requested Laval to turn over 50,000 Jews for deportation to the East. On February 25, 1943, Ribbentrop protested to Mussolini against Italian slowness in deporting Jews from the Italian occupation zone of France. On April 17, 1943, he took part in a conference between Hitler and Horthy on the deportation of Jews from Hungary, and informed Horthy that the Jews must either be exterminated or taken to concentration camps. At the same conference, Hitler had likened the Jews to tuberculosis bacilli and said if they did not work, they would be shot. Ribbentrop's defense to these charges made against him is that Hitler made all the important decisions, and that he was such a great admirer and faithful follower of Hitler that he never questioned Hitler's repeated assertions that he wanted peace, or the truth of the reasons that Hitler gave in explaining aggressive action. The tribunal does not consider this explanation to be true. Ribbentrop participated in all of the Nazi aggressions, from the occupation of Austria to the invasion of the Soviet Union. Although he was personally concerned with diplomatic rather than the military aspect of these actions, his diplomatic efforts were so closely connected with war that he could not have remained unaware of the aggressive nature of Hitler's actions. In the administration of territories over which Germany acquired control by illegal invasion, Ribbentrop also assisted in carrying out criminal policies, particularly those involving the extermination of the Jews. There is abundant evidence, moreover, that Ribbentrop was in complete sympathy with all the main tenets of the National Socialist creed and that his collaboration with Hitler and with other defendants in the commission of crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity was wholehearted. It was because Hitler's policy and plans coincided with his own ideas that Ribbentrop served him so willingly to the end. Conclusion. The tribunal finds that Ribbentrop is guilty on all 4 counts.